Among the numberless butcheries which history, both ancient and modern, records, there has been none more remarkable in motive, execution, and number of victims than the Massacre of St. Bartholomew. It is scarcely less remarkable as being one of those historic crimes which defeat their own purpose by reacting against the perpetrators and advancing the cause of those who suffer outrage. The tragedy of St. Bartholomew's Day marked the culmination of the great struggle which devastated France in the latter half of the 16th century. During the reign of Francis I and Charles IX, the Huguenot, French Protestant character was formed, and the nation gradually separated into two parties so fanatically hostile that the extermination of the weaker seemed the only possible means of re-establishing the unity of France. The Puritans of France were persecuted under all these kings. During the minority of Charles IX, his mother, Catherine de' Medici, was regent, and throughout his reign she dictated the king's policy. Under this rule, the persecutions continued with increasing violence. From 1562 to 1570, France was torn with civil wars between Catholics and Protestants. On the Protestant side, the great leaders were the Prince of Condé, Admiral Coligny, and later Henry of Navarre. Condé was murdered in 1569. By the Peace of Saint-Germain 1570, the Huguenots received some favorable concessions. The weak Charles, now in fear of Philip of Spain, was inclining to the Protestant side. Seconded by Coligny, he planned alliances with all the enemies of Philip in Europe. But Catherine overruled him. Charles and Coligny, however, had their way in the marriage of the king's sister, Margaret of Valois, to Henry of Navarre. Coligny now gained a stronger influence over the young Charles. He was followed by a large body of exulting Protestants to Paris, and the Catholic party, headed by Catherine, the Duke of Anjou, and the Guises, became greatly enraged. Of the terrible massacre which followed, and in which the number killed throughout France has been estimated at from 20,000 to 100,000, Coligny was the first victim. One attempt to assassinate him failed. He was only wounded, and the Queen Mother then plied her weak son with argument and persuasion in order to make him consent to the Admiral's murder and to the massacre which had been arranged with profound secrecy for August 24th. She told him of a Huguenot plot in which, at a signal from Coligny, conspirators were to rise throughout the kingdom, overturn the throne, take Charles himself prisoner, and destroy the Queen Mother and the Catholic nobility. She showed him some proofs, forged or real, of his personal danger.